I couldn't quite figure out what it was, but...
Well, he was around here for a while, I think.
He was?
Working for the racetrack.
Yeah, I think he worked at,
The Pimlico he worked at?
Well, I don't know about other ones, but he was here at the fair time and down in Charlestown.
yeah. Yeah, that's what he, but he had something because he has a nurse 24 hours a day.
Who was that?
Lou Marquardt. But now both the Sewell brothers are, golly, they're balls of fire. I don't know. I mean, I never know how old anybody is. Joey Sewell was just hither, thither, and yon. He lives down in Alabama, and he was up in Ohio the other weekend. Because we saw him down in Alabama when our son was stationed at Benning. We went down that way to see him after he got back from Germany.
Very nice. What I'd like to do is to just ask you about where you grew up and what your family did and how you got started into baseball.
Well,
Are you from Hagerstown? Or?
no, I was up here in Pennsylvania, not very far.
Uh-huh.
I grew up on a farm. I guess I got some of my baseball from my father. He used to play ball,
Is that
not
right?
no league ball or
I
anything.
see.
He taught me a lot of baseball, and I can remember him playing ball with me when I wore dresses yet.
Oh,
Of course, you wore dresses then until you was old enough to go to school.
yeah. Isn't that something?
This birth date right, December 29, 1895?
That's right.
That's right. You're 85 now, 84 or
We're
83?
He's not very good at math.
Did you learn, did you do a lot of throwing on the farm there? Did you have enough people to play games? Or
Well, we had a little team there in the little valley. We had a little team there. I played on that until I started to go to school. I went to Shippensburg over there. Graduated there in 16.
Did they have a team?
They had a team.
Somebody scout you at Shippensburg, or how did you break into pro ball?
Well, yeah, the Blue Ridge League had started that. And, I used to go to see them play every chance I got. In the summertime, I got on one of the teams.
Which team do you remember?
Frederick.
Frederick?
Uh,
That'd be 1916 or 17 or
that was in 15.
15.
I played with them in 1916, 1917. The league closed.
Because of the war, huh?
Then I went up to Williamsport and got on the team up there. It was a Lycoming motor team. They played all teams.
That was
around.
semi-pro team?
Yeah, played Alton and all those Johnstown, all those pretty good teams.
Uh-huh.
A fellow by the name of Hinchman, Bill Hinchman, he was managing that. I played under, well, I forget his name now, it was with the Boston, or the Brooklyn Club.
Right.
He wanted me to sign up with the Brooklyn Club for a tryout. So Hinchman heard of this, and he got around and signed me up before the other fellow did.
So he was with Pittsburgh, or
Yeah,
he was scouting for Pittsburgh, or
Yeah, he was scouting for Pittsburgh.
what did he sign you up for?
You mean what salary?
Yeah,
I think it was $350.
that's pretty big money for you, wasn't it?
Big money at that time, yeah.
What did your father think of this? Is he quite pleased you would be playing
Yeah,
ball?
he was pleased. He always followed. I had the Pittsburgh paper sent to him. And I followed it all the time.
Do you have any boyhood heroes from Pittsburgh? Like Wagner or
No, I knew Wagner.
Clark?
He was coach on the team one year when I was up there in 1920.
So where did you play in 1918?
And
That was Lycoming then?
Lycoming Rovers.
And Pittsburgh signed you that after that season, or
Yeah, they signed me and sent me down to Birmingham.
how'd you like it down south?
Well, liked all right. It was an awful hot.
Taking any of those night train rides in the summer must have been pretty warm, huh?
Yeah.
Who was the manager of Birmingham?
This fellow worked for the I just think of it right now.
Were you playing outfield all these years?
No, I played third base. Or infield. Played infield.
How'd you happen to go to the outfield?
Well, I got to, when I went to Pittsburgh, I played third base for a couple of years until my trainer
Oh,
came along and he was a pretty good infielder.
yeah.
So they switched me to the outfield and I played the outfield.
Did you spend all of 1920 with Pittsburgh? It says you played in 12 games that year.
No, that's the year that shipped me out. When I came back,
I
I
see.
played 12 games at the end of the season.
Hit 326, so you must have made a good debut there, huh?
Well, I was in the 27 series and 25
Yeah.
series.
What kind of an experience, what was it like to go up to Pittsburgh there for the first time and be with some of these people?
Well, I'd worked out with them in spring training, all of them, see. And they just sent me down there just before the season opened.
Did you feel pretty confident you're going to be able to stick up there? Or
Well, yes, I always had enough confidence.
how'd you do at Birmingham? You must have had a pretty good year there, huh?
Yeah, I had a good year there.
Now, who was manager at Pittsburgh when you came up there in 20?
Gibson
George
was.
Gibson. Is he still active playing, or he still catching then? Or?
Well, he was catching them.
Yeah. Remember some of the other players on the team when you first came up?
You mean the Birmingham?
No, the Pittsburgh team. Max Carey, probably.
Well, Mike Terry was there, trainer. Rawlings. Bigby, I think, was there. Smith, catcher.
That Oil Smith.
Yeah. Babe Adams was one of the pitchers.
Yeah. Was Vic Aldrich with him?
Dick, yeah.
Did they give you any kind of a salary boost for 1921?
Yeah, I got the boost. I don't remember what it was or anything.
Did you play third base in 21? That was before Trainer came up, I
Yeah.
guess. So. Who were some of the pitchers that gave you some trouble or that didn't? Remember early then? How about
Well, Vance, he's
yeah, he was.
fastball pitcher. Bourbon Grimes, he was spitball man. Lee Meadows. Quite a number of them again, just thinking of names.
Were you married at this time?
Oh, yeah.
Did you travel with him?
No. We weren't allowed to travel
Oh,
when he was with
you made
Pittsburgh.
several trips.
Yeah, but we wasn't allowed to go to South to California where spring training.
Oh, they wouldn't let you go to spring training.
Oh,
So did you live in Pittsburgh?
no, I lived
You
here.
lived here. Oh, that made it nice though that you had your,
I went to St. Louis one time when they played there, and it was there. Morrison, you forgot, and he was there. And he was
John Morrison
pitching.
was pitcher.
Eddie Moore.
Yeah, Eddie.
I've interviewed Eddie Moore. He died a couple years ago. He was over in Ironton, Ohio, where he was living then. In Carmen Hill, I've talked to him.
Yeah.
Hill and Meadows were the two that wore the glasses, huh? What was this time you hit a home run off of, who was it you mentioned earlier?
Markwood?
Mark?
Yeah, Markford. Tell us about that.
Well, he's a left-hand pitcher. I forget what inning it was. 8th or 9th. I guess the 9th inning. I hit the home run, won the game.
What did you do in your off season? Did he hunt and fish?
That's it.
Hunt, fish.
That's what most of the college doctors seem to do in their off season. Hunt and fish.
Well, now, yeah, but a lot of them have businesses now.
Oh, now, yeah, but I mean, you know,
He
the
had
older
spent
ones.
a year and a half down in the pharmacy in Philadelphia. And he just had one more year to go. And we tried to encourage him to go back and finish, but he couldn't go back during his, when he was all.
But there have been quite a few of the older players that
Oh,
we
yeah,
talked to, you
now
know,
they
you
make
say,
the money.
what did you do? Well, I fished and golfed, or I fished and hunted. Honey, Ed Roush, and Mark Hart, of course, said he was on the vaudeville stage, so, on the off season, he went to the vaudeville circuit, I guess. That's what he said.
And I hear from Johnny Morrison's wife. She likes to know him. He died. He had diabetes. I didn't know. You knew that.
I hadn't read he had died. I didn't know
Yeah.
his problem.
Like,
But tell me about the 1927 season and Kai Kyler. What happened there? Can't we talk?
bang, bang, bang. That's the way it went.
Well, he didn't amount to much. Of course, the Yankees, they were way ahead, you know. We had to play up to the last game to win the series, penalty.
Mhm.
And of course, the Yankees, they just beat us 4 straight.
That wild pitch that
Yeah.
ended it all. They'll just say much after that?
Well, I don't recall.
What I was referring to was when Donnie Bush benched Kyler about midway through the season, put you in place. And Kyler wasn't he having a pretty good year or so? You never played him again? Was that what happened?
I don't know what it was. They didn't get along too good together. That's, I guess, was the reason.
But here's a star hitter and he didn't play him at all or in the World Series. I asked Glenn Wright about that and he said, well, he didn't know either. There was some feeling, but he said he put Clyde Barnhart in there instead and that was a pretty good replacement. so they didn't really miss him. As he finished up hitting .319 that year, 27.
He had a lot of good years in there with high batting averages.
Yeah.
He did.
Do you have any favorite pitches you like to hit, or did you hit pretty much anything they threw up there? Or?
Yeah, I never had much trouble hitting.
In 1926, you only played 76 games, and your average went down. Were you injured that year?
Yeah, I was sick part of the time.
You broke your elbow. Was that the year you broke your elbow? I don't remember.
I don't recall either.
What manager did you like best?
Oh,
Anybody
I don't know.
stand out? Or
I guess Bush was. McKechnie was a good manager.
Charlie Grimm, pretty lively person,
Yeah,
keeping everybody loose.
yeah.
Got any stories about him you can remember, Charlie?
Oh, we had a little kind of an orchestra in Morrison, Grimm and I,
Oh,
banjo and mandolin.
which did you play?
Mandolin.
When would you perform this orchestra? During in the
Oh.
clubhouse there, you mean? Or?
It was on spring training. We played out in California in the theater there in the evening
is that right?
sometimes. Yeah. Had a little theater there. And we practiced on the road on a room, or in our rooms. In the clubhouse sometimes.
What kind of a chap was Max Carey?
How was that?
What kind of a chap was Max Carey?
He was pretty good looking.
Was he a leader on the field, was he? Or?
Well, kind of, yeah, he was a base stealer, you know. Tried to teach the fellas how to run the bases.
How'd you get along with Barney Dreyfus?
All right, Barney Brooks is all right.
Eddie Moore said he had all kinds of problems with him. I just wondered if maybe it was Dreyfus or if it was Moore.
That wasn't Dreyfus because where were they overseas someplace, sent a card. That was his son on the Dreyfus.
Yeah, he had a son, he died.
Well, this was when he was overseas someplace. I mean, on a visit, and he wasn't in a service or anything, he was sent a postcard. He'd done a lot of good before he Dreyfus.
I guess as Eddie Moore was a little hot-headed,
I don't know.
maybe, and this caused some of the friction because he did sell him off to Boston after the 25 season, I guess. He had a good season there. I think there's somebody else coming up too. Grantham, or I don't know who it was. George Grantham on the team when you were there?
Yeah. Harris, we got Harris from Washington.
He was the one that was gassed in the war, is that right?
Yeah.
Is Earl Smith a pretty lively chap?
Yeah, pretty lively. We used to get in a lot of arguments with other teams, mostly their managers. He didn't like McGraw, someone like that. Huggins.
How'd you like the umpires?
Well, there's all right.
You ever get thrown out of a game?
Not in big leagues, and got thrown out in the National League one game, or not the National League.
Southern League?
International.
What happened there?
Well, it just called me out on a bad ball. I tossed my bat up in the air.
That's automatic, huh?
Yeah.
You think the umpires do a pretty good job in your experience?
Well, lately, I don't know. We've had so much trouble of late.
When you were playing?
Oh, well, they did all right. They never had the arguments they do now.
Well, I know, but look what you've got playing ball now. You have all these little temperamental people.
Did you play center field most of the time?
Mostly left. Went right field once in a while. Never played center much.
Have a pretty good arm, I imagine, didn't you?
Well, fair.
Did you get many assists from the outfield?
Few.
That's quite an achievement. Did you watch the All-Star game the other night? Dave Parker made those 2 assists. Not easy to do. You do a lot of bunting, or?
I bunted not too awful much. I never had any trouble. I was a good bunter. I learned to bunt while I was going to school.
Anybody teach you, or just teach yourself?
Yeah. Coach at college taught me.
When you came up to the big league, or even with down with Frederick there, did you get much help from some of the older players?
Well, not too much.
They're they figure you're trying to take a job away from them, and they don't help you much, huh?
They was players, you know, that had been left go from other places, other teams.
Did you
First
play?
of all, the balls that they're playing with now are rubber balls. What we had to play with.
I mean, they're much more lively, huh?
Yeah.
Weren't they pretty lively in your time, though?
No.
Ruth hit all those home runs?
Well, Ruth's about the only one.
Yeah. Hornsby hit a few, but...
Oh, it was like hitting a rock.
Yeah.
Ball then. They never played much for a big inning like they do now. They always bunted mostly, played for 1 run.
Yeah. They don't know how to bunt today, really. I think when they're supposed to bunt, it seems to me like they deliberately miss it so they can hit away.
Well, so many of them bunt, they hold it back with both hands in the end. I always taught to bunt, and I always slip this hand out. The guy that you're bat and that. These other fellows, they just bat with a big hand and hit the ball up in the air and every place else.
Bad about 30 months.
Wasn't that
What
terrible?
was,
I used to hit a lot of long fly balls that have been home runs now. I scored three men from second base on sacrifice flies.
Is that right?
Howie.
Terry twice and Carter once.
Is that right? Must be some kind of a record. Where did your deep center fielders hit the ball? Or?
Yeah, mostly deep center.
Of course, you had a big ballpark to bat in, too, didn't you?
Yeah,
One of the deepest center fields there is.
that was Ford Field.
Did you like to play there? Was it a good fielders park? Wasn't very good for hitters.
Yeah, it was fairly good.
Where did the team stay? When you're in Pittsburgh, did you have a rooming house, or did you stay in a hotel?
No, you had to furnish your own room.
You could stay with him then when he was in Pittsburgh? Or?
Oh yeah, I used to take a couple of kids along, and I had one of them too. we stayed in a boarding house one time, and then we had rented that house on Little Hill.
It's kind of hard when school's still in to take the kids
Well, I
out.
never stayed that. I only stayed when they were home. So
Yeah.
in Pittsburgh, I never didn't stay at home. Like when they were home, I just drive out, and then when they went on a trip, then I came home.
And took the children with you?
No, I never took them all.
Oh.
I took the boys and the girl around there. I guess when one boy was out and he was young.
How many children do you have? Five. Are they all around here?
No, one girl lives in Miami. I mean, in Florida, she lives at Hialeah Garden. And the rest are all around within,
I think they're nice.
Did you ever have any contract disputes?
Yeah.
they never would open his mouth and take what they're giving. When you got 5 kids, you take what you get.
Yeah?
Were they pretty generous, do you think?
Yeah, that was pretty all right.
You're glad you got a job.
I got on an average of what everybody got.
Did you feel spring training was necessary? You know, Eddie Roush used to hold out so we wouldn't have to go to spring training. And he'd come and star in, hitting as well as ever, but maybe that's because he was so good. But do you think it really helped you get into shape? Or?
Oh yes, we'd have to have spring training for some of these stars like Roush. Didn't need too much to get into shape.
Well, you probably kept in pretty good shape in the off season with hunting and so on. Or?
Yeah, I never took on much weight. It wasn't hard to get down.
You're eager to get going next spring? I mean, did you really look forward?
Yeah.
Do any of any big thrills stand out in your mind as you look back on your baseball career? Anything particularly outstanding that you had happen to you or that you did? Maybe those sacrifice flies, they were something. Anything?
I remember when Parishing was out there in Pittsburgh one time. I was playing right field then. It was in the 9th inning. Ball hit out to me, and I went over towards the line, and jumped and caught it with one hand. And that was the last out. The inning was over.
Hershey. Gentleman Hershey, were you talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they had a little piece of paper about it. And Hershey remarked about the catch down there. In the 25 series, I won the game. Washington had us beat till the sixth game. They'd have won that the series.
I've forgotten about that.
Kovaleski, he was a spitball pitcher. We had a spitball pitcher during the Blue Ridge League, and I always liked to hit him. I remember hitting a hit off of him, won my 6th game, and brought the series back to Pittsburgh. We won it the next day, 7th game.
Did Johnson pitch that game?
Yeah.
Did you hit any of those ground balls that Roger Peckinpah fumbled?
No, I don't recall that.
He set a series record of 8 errors, you know.
Yeah.
Just after he'd been voted the most valuable player in the league just before the World Series, and after he made 8 errors, a number of people said they should hold the voting after the series. But he was quite, I spent an evening with him one day and talked to him about those errors, and he said that the Pittsburgh scorers were prejudiced against him because they wanted See, Hannes Wagner had the record of 6 errors by a shortstop in a World Series game. And the Pittsburgh Scorers wanted Wagner to break wanted that record broken so it wouldn't be with Wagner. So they gave Peckinpah some errors which he felt he didn't deserve. The ball, I guess some of the days the field was a little muddy and the ball was a little heavy or something. It was kind of hard fielding and his throws were just a little bit low or something that normally wouldn't have been. And Max Carey wrote that one of those errors was he hit the ball and it should have been a base hit. He felt he'd been robbed of a base hit by the score. I just wonder if you hit any of those which Peckinpah might have.
No, I don't think.
How was Walter Johnson hit against?
Well, he was pretty speedy. But I was always considered a curveball hitter. He didn't throw me on curveball. It was all fastball. He hit me right in the chest.
He hit you. Did you crowd the plate much, or was it just?
No, just
got away from him, huh?
Just natural. He was trying to pitch inside now.
Get any hits off him, do you remember?
Yeah.
That's something. Yeah, we talked to Kovaleski too. He was one of those we talked to.
You talked to him?
Yeah, Stan Kovaleski. He's out in Indiana.
And I always want to say Big Bend, but that isn't it.
South Bend.
South Bend, where Notre Dame is.
Yeah. Loves to fish. Still goes fishing.
Yeah, every day. He couldn't let it interfere. He could be there at a certain time as long as it didn't interfere with his fishing.
Did you play any ball after you left the Pirates?
Yeah, I played in the American Association,
Who'd you play with, you remember?
Indianapolis.
Was Eddie Sicking with Indianapolis then?
Eddie who?
Sicking? Second baseman? Sicking. He may have come a little later.
Seems to me. Is that what they call? Is that his regular name?
Yeah. Sicking. He played with Indianapolis at some time, but I don't know if those are the years or not. May have been.
Can't just say.
You went to Indianapolis right after that Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I went from Pittsburgh to Indianapolis.
Was that a pretty big disappointment to you when you left the Pirates?
Oh, no, I figured I might get back again, and I never did.
You went to Jersey City.
Yeah, then I went to
How long were you with Indianapolis? A year or two?
2 years, I believe.
And then you went to Jersey City? Well, did you play any night baseball?
Couple nights. I didn't
Where was it? In Indianapolis?
Indianapolis, I believe.
Lights weren't too bright, huh?
No, it wasn't too good. That's another thing that when I played, I always had my thumbs always bruised up, hitting that would sting your hands. They wouldn't let you wear gloves then, but everybody wear gloves now. That would help them better a whole lot. I used to have a sponge that I'd tape on my bat. Umpires didn't like that.
How big was your glove compared to those today?
Oh, it was so small.
Did you have much padding in it?
No, nothing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You think the fielders today, with their huge gloves, they catch things they wouldn't have caught in the old days because the gloves so big?
Oh, they might. An awful lot of outfielders only use one hand to catch the ball now.
The gloves so big,
Yeah.
you can't miss.
I never used to fall down and roll over and do things like that. I don't ever remember seeing them do that when I was at any of the games. And I used to go to every one when I was out there.
What was your biggest thrill in seeing him play? Didn't he
Oh, I
stand
don't
up?
know. I just sat with my mouth shut. I just always liked to see him hit. If he hit all right, and if he didn't go all right.
Did the wives sit together?
I started it, but I sat downstairs. I sat up in the box.
You and Mrs. Kovalevsky, she said she never wanted to sit near any of the other players' wives. She'd go off and sit in the stands by herself.
Getting
Yeah,
downstairs.
there's a lot of the wives, they get in arguments about their husbands misplay or something.
I never opened my mouth. I went to watch the games when I went.
Did you enjoy the games?
Oh, yes. Yes, indeed I did. I went to both World Series.
Is that right? How'd you two happen to meet?
Oh, we lived about a mile within each other. We lived in Buck Valley, Pennsylvania. That's up here across the mountain.
So you knew each other from really the early days.
We didn't go to the same country school, but we went to one, they had different country schools. We didn't live too far apart, what was it, about a mile?
Oh, mile and a half, about something like
Did you ever play in a no-hit game?
that.
Didn't any Pirates pitchers pitch any no-hitters
No,
in those years?
We never talked baseball after we left the park, after this,
Even after a good day?
even after a good day. Funny thing I remember about him was if we went any place or on the street, he always went to the ballpark before I did. But every hairpin he saw, he picked up. That was a two-base hit for him.
Oh, really?
And that was his superstition. And it worked pretty good, too.
Isn't that something?
So baseball players are superstitious, huh?
Well,
Well, I have
they
to
call
say
that
it was-
superstitious.
Don't step on the foul line or have to.
And that was all, we left baseball, that's what we did.
Not at all? You didn't never talk baseball?
No, not after that home.
Molly had finished his day's work, and that was it.
But I mean, when you've gotten 3 doubles or something, so much to talk about.
No, I didn't say it was a good day because he had a good many good days. I knew it and he knew it, so I thought
That
about
was
it.
it.
One of these clippings, I remember, I read news reading that not long ago about, they said when he come in from right field, he neither looked right nor left. The grandstand or anybody, he just walked right straight ahead. I always called him Old Eagle Eye.
It sounds like you didn't get very nervous or excited during the games, from what I gather here. Is that true?
He doesn't have any nerves.
Huh.
I got more.
Yeah, you and me both. I think I need that removed. I don't see how, I think if I were a wife and my husband was playing ball, I'd have to go off in a corner by myself and watch the game.
No, I didn't mind a bit.
Really? Oh, I would be a nervous wreck.
Did you ever see him get hit, for example? Or?
No, I didn't see him get hit that day. He broke his elbow.
That was by pitch ball?
I guess it was. He was home then for Where did you go? Where did they send you to get your arm set? A place where they...
Homestead of Reese?
Yeah.
No,
Wasn't it? Homestead or Reese? Where was it? You went someplace.
He's in Youngstown, Reese.
oh, I remember what,
But he come home for a while.
some hospital or something. Wasn't much something to do.
I could be wrong.
Just broke my,
You throwing arm, huh? Did you have any trouble?
raise your bone off.
When was that, in 1922? Or 70, maybe 26, huh? That was a good year he played 76 games. He always fell out. Did you have trouble throwing after that? Did you come back?
Well, it took a while to get an arm.
That was.
And we had a Christmas card from Tom Shane 2 years ago, and he wrote on it that we were playing, you know, now we'd be millionaires.
That's right. That's right.
Some of them are pretty bitter about that. I mean, how do you feel about these modern players and their salaries as against their abilities? I mean, $4.3 million contracts.
A lot of them do a lot of good though for, you know, other charities and things, and have...
Tom sent me a Christmas card every year after I left Pittsburgh.
2 years ago.
Just 2 years ago. Stopped there when he died. And well, never could find out.
Mr. Murdock said he never heard that he died, so he must still be living.
Yeah, I think he is.
He could be sick or something, you know.
He lived in California.
Did he play with the Pirates then? Or did he play with the Pirates when you were there?
Yeah. 25. We got connected with the Giants.
And I think they had 6 tape recorders, and he said at one time they were all broken.
Oh.
They're just, I don't know.
Do you have any pictures of yourself, or scrapbooks or clippings of your playing days?
Oh, I have a scrapbook. I don't know.
Scrapbook about that thick.
Is that right?
That's where they had in that one.
Suppose I could take a look at it? Hidden
Thick
somewhere?
deal, all night and all day and all
Yeah.
morning.
Oh, really? Yeah, geez.
One was from New York, I think, yesterday, and it was a long envelope. And you know what it had in it? It's just a postcard, a penny post, you know,
Yeah.
they're 10 cents.
Uh-huh.
I hadn't bought any, and I said, well, I looked at it, I wanted to know how much you were, they're 10 cents now. And just asked for his autograph. And then some of them want his picture, and one time, they sent a good picture of him, and I'm sorry I didn't